Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This morning's video is going to be another coloring video with some chatting, and we're going to work on something for Anne's color along, which she is doing Creative Haven and Dover in August. So what I thought we would work on today, and I'm going to sort of kill two birds with one stone, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our trusty little geometrical shapes coloring book, and we're going to color this picture here. Let me just raise the camera slightly so we can see the entire picture, and then we'll lower it again once we start coloring. But what I thought we would do today is I thought we would go ahead and take this coloring book, and there we go. Now we can kind of see the picture a little bit more in detail, but we're going to color this one on the right hand side of the page. And so what I thought we would do, because this is sort of my test coloring book, and so what I thought I would do is I said we're going to sort of kill two birds with one stone. I have this pink pencil case here. And so what we're going to use today is we are going to be using the pencils that are in this case. And the pencils that are in this case is my platinum color pencils. So I thought we would just go ahead and use these today because I've been using my polychromos a lot. And I love my polychromos, but you guys may be searching for something that's a little bit more budget friendly. And these platinum pencils are definitely that. You get 72 pencils in this set, and they kind of look a little bit like the Tombow Erogeton ones with the white casing. Let me take one out. With the white casing and then the color on the end of the pencil. Oh, can you guys see it? Yeah, we have the white casing and then with the color on the end of the pencil right there. It kind of looks a little bit like the Tombow Erogeton pencils. So these pencils, I want to say that I paid maybe 12 or 15 bucks for these pencils, and there's 72 pencils in the set. So I will try to find the link for them on Amazon and put that in the description section of the video. So if you guys would like to look into purchasing those pencils, you can. Just as a little disclaimer or whatever, I am an Amazon associate, so I make a little bit of money from the links that I provide, and you know, just a tad bit, you know, nothing real major or anything, but anyway, the money that I do make from that goes right back into the channel to help support the channel, meaning that I can review more coloring books for you guys and more supplies and stuff for you guys. So like I said, you know, it's just a little tiny bit of a kickback, but anything that I do make goes back into the channel. Now, as I said, we're going to use those pencils, and then I'm going to kind of talk about what I think about the pencils and just kind of give you a little bit of a review on them and tell you what I think of them as far as like how they lay down color and so forth, and how they act in these Dover books and stuff. So we're going to be coloring this page, but also what I'm going to show you guys is that something I'm going to be working on my own. I've not started it yet, but I'm going to be working on this double page spread in the Princess coloring book, which is another Dover coloring book. But and let me go ahead and lift up the camera just a little bit more. I probably should have just left it lifted up while I was talking about this. There we go. So we have this double page spread, and we have the princess saying good morning to her parents who are on their thrones, and then on this page the king and queen are happy to see their lovely daughter. So it's a double page spread. We got a lot of nice brickwork in here, but I think I can use a variety of different mediums on here because I think the Koh-i-Noor tritones would work very well on this page. So I'm going to be working on this one on my own. It's a double page spread, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to do, but it's still not going to be that bad. It should turn out pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and lower our camera again, and then we'll get to coloring on this one page. Now, I'm kind of playing a little bit with different camera angles because I want to try to get something that is going to work out really well. I'm still trying to play with the camera angles just to kind of keep, you know, to make sure that my head stays out of the way and that you guys can actually see what I'm coloring. So with that said, I'm going to do my disclaimer. I'm coloring with a visual impairment, which means that I have to get very close to my work. So you are probably going to see my head in the video, but I do try my best to keep that out of the way as much as I can, because I know how you know, you guys, I know you guys want to see what I'm coloring, and I do try. I really do try. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this picture, and I think we're going to go ahead and start out with some blue. We'll start out with some blues here. So now when I do these sort of color and chat videos, I like to, what I do is I like to pick some bigger spaces so that you guys can see what I'm laying down, because the tinier the detail is, the closer I have to get to the page, and then the closer I get, then the more you guys can't see. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna start from the outside in on this picture here. So, as I said, we are doing this for Anne's color along, for the Creative Haven and Dover color along. And we're going to be using these platinum pencils, which are quite a bit more budget friendly than, say, polychromos or even Prismas. And right now I'm kind of using a light touch with it, with this blue. And it lays down pretty good. I mean, these pencils, you got to kind of work with it a little bit. I've not used these as much as I probably should have. I used them a few times. They haven't really gotten much of a workout, but so we're gonna give these pencils quite a workout today, and just kind of show you just how you know, just exactly what they do. So you got to kind of work with it a little bit to, you know, to get the color. I'm using a fairly light touch, you know, kind of light to medium on this, and I'm not going to bear down just yet. It's laying down pretty good right now, and they're nice and sharpened, which is awesome. And then I, of course, will show you how they blend and shade, and then you guys can judge for yourselves. But these pencils are very inexpensive. I think they were, like I said, I think they were like 12 to 15 bucks when I paid for them. I don't know what they are now because I've not looked on Amazon for them lately, because I do have this set. But they do look a lot like the Rogeton from Tombows, and they feel very similar. They feel very similar. In fact, what I will do is I have my Tombows with me here, so I'll get one of those out and we'll compare. We will compare the Rogeton pencils with the platinums. So I'm just going to take out one of these cases here, and I totally need to get another case for my Tombows, because it's a pain in the butt to, you know, to be using them this way. All right, so here is the Tombow Rogeton, and so as you can tell, it's got this similar kind of white casing, and then you have the color on the end of the pencil there. And then, so here is one of the platinums, and the platinum, I mean, it's very similar. It is super similar. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to tell it apart unless you looked at the pencil and you know, and look to see what, you know, what brand was on there. But it's very, very, very similar. Same diameter. It feels very similar in the hand. And before I mix it up, I'm going to put my Tombow back. That'd be a heck of a notice to mix these up, but anyway. So these Rogetons are, they have a very, very similar feel and look to the platinum, and the Tombow Rogetons have a very, very similar look and feel to them. They work pretty similar, I have to say. They're very similar to, you know, to how they lay down and feel and work. Okay, so what was I working with here? So it's got a very, very similar feel, as well as a very similar way in how they act, you know, how they lay down color. So if you, and there are some similar colors now with the platinums, you're not going to get the pastel shades that you have with the Tombow Rogetons, because those Tombow ones have there's a set with the pastels, and it's very, I have to move my book just a little bit. The pastel colors are really, really nice, and so, but you're not going to get that with these platinums. You just aren't. But if you, I think the platinums are quite a bit less expensive than the Tombow Rogetons, unless you find a good deal on them. I think the Erogitons, like there's 30 pencils to a set. There's 90 pencils of those in all. So you'll probably end up paying a little bit more anyway because there are more pencils in the set compared to the Platinums, which only have 72. But they complement each other really nicely. So if you want, you know, some different colors, you know, if you're looking, like if you have an emergency where one of your Tombos is gone or something, and you, I don't. Corey Scherer was saying that there's a place called Tokyo Pen Shop that sells the Tombow Erogitons in open stock. But I know otherwise, you know, they're really hard to find. The open stocks are really hard to find. And so if you run out of one color in your Tombows, you could probably find something similar in the Platinum set. So we're gonna take the darker blue, and then we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of blending and shading with this, and we're just gonna see how it works. We'll just see how it works and see what we think of it. Now, as I said, it has a real similar feel to the Erogitons. And you're gonna have to work with it a little bit. You're gonna have to sort of work with it a little bit to get it to, you know, blend out. But it's not the worst I've seen. It's not the best. You're not gonna get the color payoff that you would with, say, polychromos or even prismas. But you know, there's some pretty bright colors in this. You know, there are some pretty colors in this. So it's not like, you know, this is a really good set to have, like if you're just kind of starting out, or if you don't want to take some of your more expensive stuff with you on a trip. This is a great set to travel with. The pencils are real light. They're not real, they don't have a heavy feel in your hand. They're actually very light, you know, so if you want something a little bit more substantial with how they feel, these are very lightweight, so it's not like, it's not going to have the polychromos feel. It's not going to have the Prisma feel. You know, the Prismas are a little bit heavier. But I will say, if you have like wrist pain or hand pain or something, like arthritis or whatever, holding the pencils feels really nice because they are lighter weight. But the fact that you have to kind of work with it a little bit to get it to blend out is kind of it sort of defeats the purpose because you got to kind of press a little bit and work with it a little bit. And if you have those kind of issues, doing that over a long period of time is going to tire your hands out. So, you know, just so you know that, and yeah, just so you're aware of that. They're not the easiest pencils to use, but you know what, they do pretty well. They do pretty well. I actually like them a lot. I like them a lot, and this is definitely one of my travel sets that I take with me for coloring on the go, because I don't like to take my Prismas or my polys or anything with me when I'm traveling. And actually, these two colors are kind of similar. See, that happens to me a lot. Like I pick like similar colors that I'm trying to blend and shade. So I'm gonna look for another blue. Maybe there is another one that's a little bit, okay, here's a darker one. So I'm going to put this one back. Yeah, this one ought to be quite a bit darker. So we're gonna take this. I'm gonna move my book again, and we're gonna take this and we're gonna do a little bit more because it didn't really contrast the way I wanted it to. Okay, that's gonna be better. That's gonna give it a little bit of more of a contrast. So I'm not really pressing all that hard, although I'm using a heavier hand than what I would with polychromos or Prismas. And so you got to kind of work with it a little bit to get it to blend. You could use a blender pencil on this, and that should work out really well too. But you know, for the money you pay for these pencils, they're actually quite nice. I actually like these a lot. I really do. I like them a lot. And it's, you know, I will always prefer my polychromos over anything. But these actually are going to work out very, very well. These are nice pencils. As I said, I will find the link to them and put that in the description section. So if you want to purchase them on Amazon, you can, as well as this book here, this Geometric Patterns coloring book. This is the book that I use for my testing a lot. And this book was one of the first 3 coloring books that I ever got. And I've colored quite a few pictures in this book. I will probably end up completing this book at some point in time. Yes, I will. I've never ever completed a coloring book. I admire people that have completed a whole coloring book. And it's neat because, like, you can go on YouTube and they will show their completed coloring book, which is cool. If there's a book that I'll probably end up completing, it's one of these Dover ones. That would probably be what I would complete over anything else. Because some of them tell a story, you know. Some of them actually tell a story. Kind of like this princess one. It's kind of like a day in the life of this princess, which is pretty cool. You guys really enjoyed seeing Caleb. You guys really enjoyed seeing Caleb's picture. So, I'm glad you guys enjoyed seeing his picture. Now, I was asked, and I did say this in another video, like what's going to happen to him after he retires. He is going to stay with us. You know, he's my dog, you know, my boy. So I could never ever give him up. And so he will be staying with me. He just won't be working anymore. He just won't be a working dog anymore. He will get his nice little retirement, and he'll get to play ball all he wants. But it's going to be an adjustment for him because, you know, he's so used to his thing, you know, and then when he doesn't get to do that anymore, we're going to have to find some ways to kind of keep him feeling useful and needed and stuff, because that's his job, was to be useful and needed, you know. And so we'll have to come up with something clever. When I retired Abby, my other golden retriever, it was easier because, you know, we owned a business at the time, and so my husband took her in to work with him during the day, and that was, you know, that got to be her thing, was she got to go with him to do that. But with Caleb, you know, we don't have that business anymore. So we're gonna have to find something different to occupy him. So we're gonna have to be clever. We're gonna have to be a little creative with that. But it'll work out. He gets along with other dogs very well. Like, he gets along with everybody. He's a typical golden. He loves everybody. And so, you know, I don't see any problems that way, but it's just going to be an adjustment because somebody new is going to be taking over what he used to do. So there is going to be that adjustment period. But, like I said, it'll work out. It will work out. Ooh, I should have put a blotter page in between here because I feel like I'm getting some rough edges or something. Now this picture here, I started with my Tombos, and I will finish that up at some point, but we're going to color this one today with the platinum pencils. But see, as you can tell, this is really bright and cheerful and vibrant. You can kind of tell with the blue there. So I'm gonna move the book just a little bit, and we're gonna just kind of work from this outside in. And again, I won't finish this up on camera, but what I will do is I will finish this up on my own, and then I will come back in another video and show it to you guys. And I'm also gonna be doing the princess picture on my own too, so I don't think I will be doing any of that one on camera. So yesterday was kind of just a quiet day. I spent quite a lot of time on the phone yesterday with my friend Brenda from Michigan. She was the one that I was telling you about that that had recently lost her dog. She had to take her into, to put her down because her back end just gave out, was giving out on her. And so she is also going to be going back for her third dog. She'll be on her third dog. I will be on my fourth. And we are hoping that we end up in the same class together. I mean, that was how we met in the first place, was we were getting our first dogs together back in 1992. Holy cow, time sure flies. But yeah, we're hoping that we end up in the same class together. My husband doesn't think it'll happen, but I'm still holding out hope that we will, because that'll be fun. And if that's the case, then my husband would drive me up there, and then we would just maybe spend an overnighter in Michigan where Brenda lives, and then just kind of spend the day with Brenda, and then my husband would take us both up to Leader Dog, and then I would probably just fly home. But I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit because I still have to they still have to tell me when I'm going. They still have to tell me when I'm going to go, because I don't have that information yet. And so when I go, I will be gone for about 3 weeks. I don't know how, when I go, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to upload videos or do videos, because it's a very, very busy time. Last time I know when I was up there to get Caleb, I thought I would get some writing done, because I was working on writing a book. And I didn't get a whole lot of that done, because it's such a busy time, and you are constantly doing stuff, especially during the day. You get some downtime at night, obviously, but by the time nighttime rolls around, I mean, you've just been so busy during the day that you're just so tired, and you just kind of want to go to bed. So I don't know how much I'm going to get done as far as like extra things go. So I don't know how many videos you guys are going to get. What I will try to do is I'll try to blog a little bit about my experience up there, and kind of show you guys. I'll show you guys the new partner I'm going to get, because what I'll do is I'm going to take my camera, I'm going to take my tripod, and I will what I'm going to do is I'll have the camera set up, and then when they bring me my dog, I'm going to videotape me. Videotape. Boy, I'm sure dating myself here. I'm going to record myself getting my new partner, and I can put that up on YouTube if you guys want to see that. And I'll try to do some other blogging about what we've been doing up there and stuff, and just kind of show you some stuff. But you know what? I am going to take my coloring supplies, or some coloring supplies. I'm not taking my whole collection, obviously. But I will take some coloring supplies, and I will, I'll have, a few things that I'll be coloring. Because I should have some time to just relax at night and do that, which will be nice. Just turn on my little audiobook or a movie or something and just kind of color away. Like so. See, this actually blends out pretty nicely. Gotta work with it a little bit, like I said, but it actually does quite well. I'm kind of pressing a little bit harder just to kind of get those harsh lines out of there. But I mean, it does really well, and these would work really nice, I think, with those Tombow Erogetin pencils. These are wax-based pencils. You're not going to get oil-based pencils for like 12 to 15 bucks. Now the Koh-i-Noors, the regular Koh-i-Noors, I think there's like 60 or something in the set of those. I think those are oil-based, and those are probably the least expensive oil-based pencils that I've ever seen. I don't have those yet. That's going to be on my list. I do have the Koh-i-Noor Tritones, but I don't have the regular Koh-i-Noors. But what I want to do with you guys too is one thing that I am looking to do is now I have like tons and tons and tons of colored pencils, but what I want to do is I want to look at the different colored pencil sets, you know, and I want to show them to you guys, you know, just show you some sets, you know, some different ones that you may not know that are out there. I just kind of do those reviews and just show you what is out there that's, you know, maybe more on a budget, maybe a little bit more expensive, you know. Just, I want to kind of do like a diverse, I want to do these reviews on like, you know, diverse colored pencil sets and other things. So that's going to be happening in the future. As soon as I can, you know, get some of that, I will do that. The opportunity that I have to pick something like that up, I will do that, and I will do reviews of that. And one of these days I'll do like a colored pencil comparison, if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing. You know, colored pencil comparison, because I have budget-friendly ones, and I have some very high-end ones too. Like I have Pablos, I have the Luminance, and I have the full set of the Pablos, I have the full set of Luminance, I have the Polychromos, of course I have Prismas, I have, what else do I have? Luminance, Pablos, Polychromos. I don't have the Holbeins. I've been kind of holding off getting them because they are very, very expensive. Ooh, excuse me. Those are, the Holbeins are very, very expensive. And also, from what I've heard, there's chemicals in them that may not be safe, like if you've got dogs and stuff, but, or little kids. But like, I don't know. I have my pencils always in my cases. Like, I don't leave them laying around. And I'm very careful about my pencils. Like, when I'm coloring, I'm usually doing it on my bed or on the table. And if I have like two pencils out, like you can see here, I'm coloring with this one here. I'm coloring with this pencil, but I've also got this one here in my hand. So if I have like two different pencils out, I will hold them because I don't like my pencils to drop on the floor. And I know stuff happens, and sometimes you do drop stuff, you know. I've heard it in a lot of other videos where people are dropping their pencils like right and left, but I do not like to do that. And I'm not saying that anybody else likes it either, but I'm very cautious about that because it takes me a minute to kind of find something that kind of drops, you know, because I don't have the eyesight that most of you have. So I try to be pretty careful, you know, as careful as I can be, so that I don't drop my stuff on the floor. And also because, you know, it's kind of hard on it too. Like if you're dropping your supplies and stuff, it's hard on your supplies. And, you know, I paid good money for my stuff, and I want to try to preserve it as long as I can because, you know, it's an investment. It's definitely an investment. And so I want to try to preserve it as long as I can. So I try not to drop my things on the floor. I mean, sometimes, every once in a while, it'll happen, and then I get mad at myself, and then you hear me say a few little choice words that I won't say on camera. Because that wouldn't be cool. Nope, nope, nope. Not cool at all. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to find an even lighter blue, because even now these colors are still just not, it's still kind of, it's not contrasting as much as I would like. So we're going to try to find a lighter blue. Alright, so I found this other color here. It's kind of a blue-green color. So we're gonna try to use that because this other color just was not contrasting as much as what I'd like. So we're gonna see how that's gonna blend and shade. So we're gonna go ahead and start on, we're gonna do like every other one of these things a different color here. So we're gonna skip this one, we'll make this one a different color, and then we'll start this one here. So, and okay, this one could be a little bit better. This one's quite a bit lighter. So it's going to be a little, this one's going to look a little bit different than this one because I picked a different color, but I think for the blending and shading and stuff, it's going to do better with the darker color here. So yeah, I was just saying how I try to be really careful with my pencils and stuff because I don't like them dropping on the floor. And I know sometimes I get the butter fingers, and then I get sort of mad at myself when I drop it. Because I think maybe that these lighter weight ones would break, you know, would break pretty easily. If you drop them on the floor, they would break, I think. Not only would the lead have the potential of breaking, but I think the pencil itself may break in half. So that would not be a good thing to have happen. I don't like that. So I hope everybody is enjoying the color alongs. I guess there's quite a lot going on in August. I know the only ones that I'm really participating in are Anne's and of course mine. We are still on the snarky and scary one until August 15th. So we have about a week to go on that. Then we will be moving on to the people and pooches. And that's going to go till September 1st. Or August, whatever that last day in August is going to be. 30th or 31st or whatever it is. And then starting on September 1st is going to be the Mandala Madness. So that is what's going on with my color along. And I hope everybody's enjoying all the different color alongs. Yeah. So since I made a sort of you know, color and chat video yesterday, there's really not too much else to say today, you know, as far as like new things to report, because I pretty much said everything that was going on yesterday. I got to do some laundry today, got some cleaning up and stuff that I have to do, but mostly laundry. So I will have to do that today. Fun. But I'm gonna have like 2 loads of whites I need to do, and then I have I'll have like some jeans and other dark stuff that I have to put in. So that's gonna take up part of the day, but I did want to come on here and I wanted to go ahead and film this for you guys so that we could have another coloring video. And I'm probably not going to do another one of these until, let's see, today's Tuesday. I may not do another one of these until like the end of the week. As much as I would love to do one of these every day with you guys, like I was saying in my video yesterday, it's kind of an impossibility because I put my videos through a lot of editing due to the visual impairment. Because there's things that I take out to make the video run smooth, you know, more smoothly for you guys. So there are things that I take out in, you know, in the editing process. So I put my videos through a lot of editing. So which is, you know, which can be time consuming. So that means, you know, as time consuming as it is I enjoy it. I love it a lot. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. But it is time consuming, and so because of that, I'm just not going to be able to do a coloring video every day like some people can. I can't do it. Because that'd be the only thing I'd be doing. Like, I'd never get anything else done. And there are other things that I have to get done. So I try to do these as often as I can. And hope that you guys enjoy them when you see them. So, but I do try to provide plenty of material for you guys to watch. And I'm having to move my book again, as you can tell. Sometimes I don't like doing that, but in order for me to get a good angle to film, there's really no choice. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. So I'll probably come on here another time and do another snarky picture with you guys. You know, for snarky and scary. I'm not sure what I'll do. I still have to finish up my one for unicorns or jerks. I still got to finish that one. But I'll do that one off camera like I said yesterday. So I still have to finish that one. I still want to color the one with the ball pit. I still want to color that one. So I may end up with 2 pictures out of the Unicorns or Jerks book. And then I think I want to color another one in my swear word coloring book, because there's another design in there that caught my eye. So I'll probably do that. And then if I get ambitious enough, then I might do one in Spooky Sweets by Carla Magana. But we'll see. We will see. I'm really loving everybody's pictures that I've seen. I am working on the video slideshow presentation of all those pictures for you guys. So I'm hoping to have that one up in the next day or so. Or I might do it over the weekend. Maybe put it together and then upload it over the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I feel like uploading it. I got to put it together though. I got to figure out like if I want to do voiceovers with it or if I just want to set it to some kind of music and then just show it to you guys. But I know sometimes with watching Pencil Stash, you know, Rachel from Pencil Stash, like she puts out videos every Friday, you know, where she does these lovely little tutorials, and she's been featuring work from other people, and she kind of like changes it up a little bit. Like I know there was when she was featuring it, you know, she would I think it was on Facebook, like she would show the picture on Facebook and then she would talk about what she loved about it and stuff. And I think recently she's just been kind of taking to showing them, not really talking about them. Although I haven't really watched like any of her recent videos. I've been just so busy. I am so behind in my video watching too. I am super behind in that. And I'm really behind in that. But anyway, I loved how she would just talk about what she loved about the picture. So I may do something like that, you know, say who the picture was by, and then just, you know, talk about like what I really loved about it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes with that. Okay. So then I'm going to color over here. Yeah, I need to get that too. I have to make sure that I'm not going to screw it up, like I'm going to get everything I need to get, but I need to move the book so you guys can see because I wasn't in frame. Lovely, lovely. So, I hope everybody's been finding some really nice pictures to color and that you guys are enjoying that. I think I kind of said that, you know, well, basically I said I hope you guys are enjoying the color alongs. But even if you're not participating in the color along, I hope you're finding some nice pictures to color that you're enjoying, because that's really what it's all about, is the enjoyment of this hobby. So this is a real light color here, which is kind of what I was looking for. Like these platinum pencils, like if you want a more of a softer, kind of more subdued look, you can achieve that out of these pencils. You'll be able to get that out of these pencils. But like I said, you're not gonna get Polychromo's color. You're not gonna get Prisma's out of this. But you know what? That's okay. These pencils do very, very nicely. I was actually very pleasantly surprised. Now, I don't use these, like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't use these as much as I probably should. But when I did use them, I found that I liked them quite a bit, you know. They're not, it's a harder lead. They're not going to be soft like the, you know, like the Prismacolors. It just isn't going to happen. So it's a harder lead, but so you're gonna have to maybe bear down just a little bit if you want like real bright, vivid color out of this, or well, very vivid color. You're gonna have to press hard. And when I'm blending this and when I'm kind of shading it out, like I will do kind of a medium pressure, I don't really have to like bear down too much, you know. I really don't. And now if I wanted like super vivid color, then yeah, I would have to just really, really press down on this. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to hurt my hand. I don't want to hurt my hand. So I try to forego that. And I kind of felt like I was getting something underneath here, like a hard something underneath here that I was coloring over. I don't know. So I hope everybody's having a great week so far. Today is Tuesday, is it the 8th, I think? This month is kind of flying by a little bit. Pretty soon it's going to be half over. Yep. And then it's going to start cooling off quite a bit. I am not looking forward to colder weather. Even though the summer has been really hot, I do not like cold weather. Like, I detest, absolutely just abhor cold weather. Just don't like it at all. And I've been in the Midwest all my life, but boy, like if I had the opportunity to get the heck out of here, I would. Like I would have been out of here like yesterday if I could. Because I don't like the winters in this part of the country. I just don't. I can handle heat more than I can the cold. But I don't like it when it's super hot either. Like I hate it when it's like just sweltering. You know what's perfect weather for me is like maybe mid to the upper 70s. You know, that way it's just warm enough to wear my shorts, but it's not so broiling hot that it makes you feel like you're gonna wilt at every turn. Okay. So that's just me. Brenda was telling me yesterday, you know, because we were talking about you know, different stuff, and she's like, well, hey, moved to Michigan, girl. I said, well, but it's cold. I said, it's even colder there and than it is here. And I guess in some parts of Michigan it is. And now when I trained to get Caleb, now Leader Dog is in Rochester, Michigan, which is probably about it's about a 45-minute drive maybe from Detroit. And you know, like when I've flown in and when I fly out, you know, we use the airport in Detroit. But I was there in the dead of winter, like in January, you know, when I was training with Caleb. And oh, I said that I would never do that again. It was so cold. And that was one of the winters that was really bad. It was a bad winter that year. And oh, it was so cold. In fact, you know, a couple times they had to cancel training, you know, because like they'd planned, you know, for us to be outside. And we couldn't do it because it was just so cold. It was so cold. And there were a couple times too that, you know, we planned to be outside and then we had to adjust things and we had to do some inside work. But oh my gosh, it was so cold. So I don't want to go in January again or February. You know, those real cold winter months, I don't want to go and do that. Because I'm not a winter person anyway, and I don't want to do that. I don't. But one time I remember, oh my gosh, and this was so funny. When I was training with Caleb, there was one of the sessions where you know, where we were working on a route. You know, we did outside work, and it was you know, we were walking. Like what happened at the beginning of the training is like for a while you know, you have a trainer that works with you personally, and so they, you know, they take you out and they walk with you, and you know, and they help you with the dog and stuff. So anyway, we had a training session that morning, and so it was really snowy and icy. And so what happened was, when it's real icy like that, you know, people put salt down, and salt isn't good for the dog's paws. So what the trainers brought with them were these, you know, these booties for dogs. You know how there's, you've seen the little booties that you put on the dogs, right? I mean, I think everybody's seen those. So anyway, right before you were going out with your dog, right, you know, the trainers would put the little booties on them. And I mean, the dogs were like high stepping right and left. It was so funny looking. It was hilarious. So I'm sitting there just cracking up. I mean, I'm over there dying, you know. And one of the trainers that was there at the time, Wendy, you know, she's like, you know, there's another dog I was laughing at. She's like, Sharon, quit laughing. Don't do that. I'm like, I can't help it. So what I had to do was, like, I had to kind of, like, you know, like when the next dog would go out, because I knew I was going to start laughing. So I had to kind of like duck my head and just kind of turn away, and I kind of went, you know, like I was trying to keep it in, but it was hard to do. So anyway, then when it came time for Caleb and me to train, Kevin, who was my trainer, his name was Kevin, you know, he put the booties on Caleb, and so we're trucking along, and he's not liking it too well. Caleb is not liking the booties very well at all. So we're going on. He's high stepping. He's trying to get himself out of them, you know. And so Kevin, you know, he says, you know, and I'm trying not to laugh, right? So Kevin, he says, I'm surprised you're not laughing. Well, that did it. I cracked up. I couldn't help it. I was roaring. I was dying. So Caleb was not taking to the booties very well. So Kevin took them off of him. And then there's also this stuff called Musher's Secret, which is kind of like a barrier cream, I guess, sort of like a waxy sort of barrier cream that I guess people that have sled dogs, like huskies or whatever, they will use that on them quite a bit. So he didn't like the booties, so Kevin had to put some Musher's Secret on Caleb. But it was funny. It was funny. It really was. It was funny. Let's see. Yep, I think I want this one here. Yes, it was quite humorous. So you know what? Like, there's some funny stories. There's some funny things that happen, you know, when you're up there. And if you guys are interested in hearing more of my little funny stories, I will be glad to tell more. I really would, because I have a whole arsenal of them. And I got like war stories of things that have happened, you know, when you're in training, because, you know, when you're in training, you're definitely, you know, just sort of expect anything and everything, really. So I have a whole arsenal, a whole collection of stories I could tell. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I will tell some funny stories, and even some war stories, if that floats your boat. Yes. But that was funny. And I swear, like, when you laugh, like, I swear, dogs kind of pick, you know, dogs kind of sense, like, when you're laughing at them. You know, dogs, I think dogs can get embarrassed too. I think dogs can get embarrassed, and they can get kind of dejected and embarrassed, and yeah, like when you laugh at them for something. I think they figure that out. Like, they figure out if you're laughing at them over something, and I think they can get embarrassed. So I think those poor doggies with me, and there were a couple of people that were laughing at them, you know, with the booties and the high stepping and stuff. But yeah, I think the dogs figured out like who was laughing at them and what they were laughing at. And I think some of them got kind of embarrassed. Poor dogs. Poor dogs. But I remember when I was training with Abby. Now Abby was my dog before Caleb. Abby was also a golden retriever. Charlie was my first. He was the blue heeler. And Abby was my second dog. She was a golden. But I remember when I was training with her, and oh my gosh, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh, the train just kind of left the station. Holy crap. Oh, yeah, I know what I was going to say. Holy moly. And, well, on that Wednesday, when they, you know, when they issued the dogs, you know, when it was dog issue day, at the time, this is before the new dormitories were built, or the new residence place, and so back in the day, you know, we had roommates. You know, now all the rooms are private rooms, so nobody, you know, has roommates, which is good. Because, you know, like, then you're not going to, like, if your roommate wants to do something in the room, you know, you're not going to impose on them. You have the freedom of your own room to do what you want. And then also, you know, not everybody got along. And so you had, you know, people had roommate issues. And so you don't have that anymore. You know, if you don't want to be around somebody, you don't have to be around them. In that manner anyway, you know, but people had roommate issues, and so it's good that, you know, it can you know, issues like that can kind of impede your training. Like if your mind is kind of on like the stresses of being with a roommate that you don't get along with, you know, that can hamper training. So it's good that we don't have to worry about that anymore. But anyway, so when I was training with Abby, you know, we had roommates, and I got along pretty well with my roommate, and her name was Pat, and she, like, oh my gosh, it was so cute, because, like, you know, we'd hear the dog's toenails like on the floor, you know, the day that, you know, they were being handed out, and you know, Pat, you know, heard the toenails on the floor. You know, the paws on the floor, and she started to cry. You know, Pat got really emotional. You know, she was so excited to have her dog, but she heard the dogs and knew they were coming, and so she started to cry. And so I think the team captain at the time, you know, he says, "Now, Pat, you need to go to your room and calm down, take a deep breath, and calm down." And you know, because we had to be in our rooms, like, for when they were handing out the dogs. They come to your room and give you the dog. So anyway, Pat got all emotional. She was crying, you know, a happy cry, not a sad cry, a happy cry. And so, you know, the trainer says, "Pat, you need to go to your room, calm down, take a deep breath." But you know, that kind of stuff happens. Like, everybody is usually so excited, you know, nervous. You know, people are nervous too. But it's an exciting time, and it's an emotional time for a lot of people. A lot of people cry. I never cried. Like, I never cried when I got my dog, but I was so excited, you know. And I remember when I got Caleb, there is a listserv on Yahoo groups for leader dogs. Anyway, I'd been a part of that for a long time. I'm still on that listserv, and so, you know, people talk, and so somebody will say, "Oh, well, you know, the puppy I raised may be ready for this, you know, class, blah 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 blah." So, you know, the puppy raisers always kind of look out to see, you know, who's going to get the puppy that they raised. And of course, upon graduation, you know, they get a picture of the dog and the person, you know. So anyway, when I was in training to go get Caleb, you know, before I left, the lady who raised Caleb, you know, was saying, oh, well, I have a puppy who, you know, I think is going to be issued in the class that you're going to go to. And so I had seen some pictures of Caleb beforehand, you know, and I mean, this is before we knew I was going to get him, you know. And so when I got there, and I'd heard of a couple of other dogs that were ready to be released or issued, you know, that were ready to be released. And so I was mentioning a couple of the dogs, and my trainer Kevin, you know, he kind of looked at me. He says, "How do you know about all these dogs?" And I said, "Well, you know, word gets around, we talk." And so I knew about Caleb. I knew Caleb was there, and then there was another golden retriever I knew that was there. So when Kevin came into my room and said, "Sharon, your dog's name is Caleb," and I just started grinning like crazy, because like how many dogs named Caleb would be in that class? So I knew that that I'd gotten, you know, the one that you know, that we talked about before. So later on in the day, I called the lady that raised him, and I told her, I said, "Well, it's dog issue day. Guess who I got?" So she was she was all happy. She was all happy. I was very happy. And so we've kept in touch a lot over the years. You know, we talk. I don't say we talk a lot, but you know, we talk quite a bit. In fact, I talked with her maybe a couple weeks ago or so. So she knows that Caleb is going to be retiring, and so she said, "Well, he's had a great working life, and he went to a great person." I said, "Well, thank you, appreciate that." So yes, good old Caleb. Good old Caleb. I think I'm going to use the same blue in this middle piece too. Yep, I'm going to color this here too. Same color. So, that's kind of what happened there. And for the longest time too, I kept in touch with Abby's puppy raiser. I haven't talked to her in a very, very long time though. It's been quite a while. I should see how she's doing. I think I talked to them, it's actually been several years, you know, but they knew, like when Abby died, they knew, because I called them and told them, and it was sad. Told them what she got, you know, what she died of, and so that was sad. But you know, I said thank you for raising such a great little girl, you know. And yep. Now the place, now I don't know where Charlie came from. Charlie, things have changed a lot since I got Charlie. I got Charlie in '92. And Charlie, we think, was a donated dog, because he would not have been in their puppy program, because he was not one of their one of their standard breeds. He was a blue heeler. So their breeds were, you know, the standard breeds that they use are Labs, Golden Retrievers, and German Shepherds, although the German Shepherds are very few and far between anymore. You don't see too many of them at all. And if you want a German Shepherd, it's like an 18-month wait period, because they don't have many shepherds at all. So, anyway, but because Charlie was a blue heeler, you know, he wasn't like the standard breed that they have in their puppy program. Meaning their puppy program is that they have their own breeding stock. You know, they have they have breeding stock that they use for this purpose. And they have it down to a science. Like they decide which dog is going to be bred with who. And, you know, they breed for certain traits and certain things, certain genetics. And so we figured Charlie had to have been donated somehow, from someone, but we don't know where, or I don't know where, I don't know who from. I wrote to them. because what happens is leader dog would kind of pass on communications if you wanted to do that. It's a little different nowadays, because see, back when I got Charlie, I mean, it was treated more like a closed adoption. Like you were not allowed. Everything was all confidentiality. You were not allowed to to contact whoever the dogs came from. But nowadays it's quite a bit different. So when they changed that, I wrote a letter to the people that had Charlie, and never heard anything back. I have no idea where he came from. He was donated from somewhere, but I have no idea where he came from. Never heard back from anybody. So that is that. Charlie's origins are always going to be a mystery to me, I guess. But he was a great dog. All my dogs have been great in their own way. Okay, so there's the blue and it's sort of a blue-green, isn't it? It kind of looks more like a blue-green in those areas. All right, so I'm gonna pick out some more colors. We're gonna get started on the next section, and then I will be right back, and we'll color just a little bit more, and then I think I'm gonna end the video. So let me pick out some more colors, and I will return shortly. All right, so we're gonna use these next colors for the alternating sections, and then I'm gonna use this sort of gold color to color in this middle circle. I'll just color in this middle circle like this with this. And then I'll keep that out in case it's needed again. Put that there. So, I've been doing a lot of talking about doggies. I've been doing a lot of talking about doggies, but you know what? Doggies are great. I love doggies. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna color these alternating sections a little bit. I'm gonna start this, and then I will probably end the video shortly. But speaking of dogs, we're gonna end up having to take Turbo, I think, into the vet because I don't know what's going on with him. He has been sneezing a lot lately, and then over about the last week or so, he's been making these snorting noises, kind of like he's got something in his nose. And that's been happening like over the last week. And then this morning, we got up and we seen blood coming out of his left nostril. And his left eye is watering a little bit, so we don't know what's going on with him. We're probably going to have to take him in. He doesn't seem to be sick or anything. Like he's not acting like sick or anything. It's just, he's just making those noises and sneezing, and then, and then we've seen the blood. And, yeah. So that kind of worries me a little bit. That worries me a little bit. So I will keep you posted on how he makes out. Okay, I didn't think that these colors were going to contrast too much, but it's going to be a nice blend, I think. I think it's going to be a nice blend. I'm just going to color a little bit more of this in, and then we'll shade it out, we'll blend it. So I think this will come out pretty. Boy, you guys have seen me color probably a lot of mandalas, a lot of the geometric stuff, but I mean, I do color other stuff, as you guys know. I got my Antique Dolls coloring book that I should color in. I love that book, from Dover. That's another really nice Dover book. And I was kind of smiling at Stephanie Ray because, like, she said I enabled her to get that book because she fell in love with that book, like, when she seen it on my channel. So I enabled her to get that one, and then I enabled her to get the Emoji Crazy one, you know, that you've seen me color out of a couple of times. So she colored a couple of pictures from the antique dolls, and they turned out so cute. We were talking on my Facebook group, though, that like some of the pictures in the doll book, I guess, was kind of scary to one lady. And we were talking about how their eyes kind of look a little weird, you know. But, like, I remember porcelain dolls from, you know, way back in the day. Like, my grandmother had, you know, a bunch of the real old ones. And I think their eyes look pretty similar. Like, they got these, like, really super big eyes, you know. And the shape of them and stuff. It's, I remember that. And I think they're pretty similar to what they look like in this book. So yeah, very similar. Okay, I'm gonna move the book slightly so I can get to the next one. Like so. And do this. So the weather here has been a little crazy. We've had like a little bit of rain, but it's been kind of it cooled off quite a bit. Like it was super hot, like about a week or so ago. It was super hot, but it started to cool off here quite a bit. In fact, I think last night it got to 51. Like it was cold. It was unseasonably cold for August. Even in the wee hours of the night, it was unseasonably cold. Because, you know, nights in August is supposed to be kind of, you know, still pretty warm. Pretty warm and steamy, but it was quite chilly. We have our air turned off, you know, because when it's cooler, you know, we don't turn our air on, we just open the windows. So we had the windows open during the day, but then it started to get chilly last night, so we closed everything up, and, you know, we got out a couple of the, you know, a couple more blankets because it was a little chilly. Too chilly for what August was supposed to be. And, oh. So, it gets a little nuts. I hope we don't have a hard winter this year, though. Like, I don't know, for the last couple of years, we've not really had that bad of a winter. And I hope we don't get another bad winter. Like, I hope we don't get a bad winter like we did in, was it 2014 and 2013? That was really bad as far as the winter went. It was horrible. I remember that. We had such a horrible winter, like for 2 years in a row. It was awful. But one of those winters, you know, in 2014, we went on a cruise. And that happened in January, so we kind of got away from it a little bit, which was great. It was nice to kind of get away from that a little bit. Then, of course, you get back home and there's like 6 inches of snow on the ground. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, these blend out actually quite nicely. They really do. They're not bad pencils at all for what you get, you know? For what you get, they're not that bad. And I'm just trying to color over a little oopsie that I did. I don't have my eraser with me. I should have grabbed my bag with my eraser, but I got out of the lines like with my blue a little bit, so I'm just trying to color over it just a little bit to kind of camouflage it. I might have to go back in there and fix it because you can still see it. Yep, you can still see it. I'm going to have to probably go in there and fix it off camera because it's going to drive me nuts right there. But I will do that a little bit later and fix that up. Probably color one more section, and then I will probably just end this video since we have been going on for a little bit. And I'm running out of stuff to say. Like, I have the gift of gab, but sometimes I run out of stuff to say. I have been talking about doggies a lot. I've been talking about doggies a lot, I know. Maybe I should color a doggie, but I want to wait and do that for when we have our people and pooches color along. I think that would be nice. People and pooches. I have a really nice stained glass dogs stained glass coloring book. It's another one from Dover. It's one of the Dover stained glass ones. And so there's a picture of 2 golden retrievers in it. And it's so cute. And so when I saw that, I said, oh, Abby and Caleb. Abby and Caleb. Now, after Abby retired, like, we had her, like, she lived another 1.5 years before she got the lung cancer and died. So, when I got Caleb, Abby was still here. So we did have both Abby and Caleb here at the same time for about 1.5 years. And so I had 2 Goldens. And if I get another Golden this time out, I'll have 2 Goldens again because, you know, Caleb will still be here. So it will just depend. It will just depend. Yes. But I will keep you guys posted on what goes on. I think I will make this symmetrical, and then it's probably going to be the end of this video. We are getting quite a bit done. I think I got like almost over half of it done. I've got almost over half of this picture done. And I'll just finish it off camera and then come back and show it to you guys in another video. I'll stickle it. Definitely put stickles on it. So it'll go up on Facebook and Instagram when it's all done. I'm going to try to finish it up today. Get to work on my princess one. And I still have to finish up my unicorns or jerks one. Plus, Grace, I did not forget about your coloring magazine challenge. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I did not forget about that. I am still going to be doing that. I have my picture picked out for it. Unless I end up changing my mind at the last minute, but as we speak right now, I have the picture picked out for what I'm going to color, and I promise you I will be getting to that. I promise, I promise, I promise. I know I've said that in another video, but I am, it's still there. I've got my notes on it, and I am going to be getting to it. It just may take me a little bit of time, you know, since with all these color alongs happening, but I will be getting to that, and maybe if I get some time to film over the weekend, or maybe that'll be my end of week project, is to do Grace's challenge, is to do your challenge there, Grace, because I do want to get that done. I do want to do that because, you know, I do try to support the you know, coloring community, and so I will be working on that challenge, and I will be coloring that with you on camera. Now that one I may or may not finish up on camera. If I finish it up on camera, it'll be done in like 2 parts or something. I will have to decide. I don't think Grace finished hers up on camera. She did a Selena Finneck picture that she found in a magazine. I do remember that. But I think she just only did the part 1. I don't think she finished it. She might have it colored in already, but I don't think she ever finished it up on camera. If she colored it, then I think she did it off camera, or she finished it off camera, because I don't think she finished it up on camera. But I do remember that picture. And I have the magazine from A Taste of Home to Color, and I have my picture picked out for that one, so I will be doing that challenge. I'll be getting to that one. I really will. Okay, so this here is what we have so far in this book, or on this picture. So let me go ahead and raise the camera so we can see it a little bit more clearly. I still have quite a bit to do on it, but this here is what we've got so far done on it. And so I will finish this up off camera and come back and show it to you guys in another video. I'll put it on Facebook and Instagram once I get it all done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little chat. And go ahead and hit that like button many times over. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. I will see the comments, and right now I have my comments on moderated status, just because of all of the nastiness that I've seen, not just on my videos, but on other videos too, and I don't like it. So I decided to go ahead and moderate my comments for the time being. It may or may not change later on down the line. But leave a comment and I will go in and approve it, provided it is not nasty or offensive. And subscribe to my channel. But better yet, go ahead and hit that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. You all have a great day, and we will talk to you in the next video. All right, bye guys.